Hi everybody. So I'm going live and this is not something that I do often, but I wanted to post this because actually I have a story to tell you about what happens and how you're supposed to handle it when things don't go according to plan at your polling place. So this morning I woke up a little bit earlier than normal so that I could get to my polling place before I went to work. I did what I always do when I go for voting day. I had a plan. I've been pushing this, having a voting plan. And so I had my plan. I left out of my house about 15 minutes. I figured it would take about 15 minutes to vote. So I left my house about 15 minutes earlier than I normally would for work. And I went to my polling place. I got out of my car. I was super excited. I was taking pictures. I was just ready to go. And I walk in, and the person in front of me in line, they go up and they go to get their voter card, and that goes into the machine, and the person says, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong place." And they're like, "No, I'm pretty sure this is where I vote." And they're like, "Well, no, this is not where you vote. You're supposed to go to another place up the street." So, red flag already, because one of the things that I know about people is that the more roadblocks and hurdles that you put in front of people, the more likely they are to just say, forget it. So a person coming to their polling place at 7 something in the morning is likely on their way to work. So asking that person to leave their polling place and then go drive to a whole other polling place at 7 something in the morning during traffic is likely going to cause them to say, never mind, I'm not going to do it. And that's actually what one of the people said. They're like, I actually don't have time to go to a second place. And so I get up there, and it's my turn, and I'm real excited, and he looks at my name, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Clark, you're in the wrong polling place." Now, I know where I vote because I research. I go to my voter page all the time. I know exactly where I'm supposed to vote. My name is on the ballot in November. I'm pretty sure I should know where I'm supposed to be. And so I say, "No, I think you have a mistake. I know this is my polling place." And they say, "No, you're there. You're supposed to go to some church up the street." And I pull up my voter page, the Secretary of State's website, and this is why I post this website, or I post the link to that all the time. And it's really important because that's information right there in your hand. Having smartphones gives you a power that we didn't have before, when you couldn't necessarily look things up right there on the spot. So I said, "No, I'm showing you right here, this is my polling place." And they say, "Well, ma'am, something's wrong because your name is not here. They say you're supposed to vote up the street." And I was not rude, because I don't believe the poll workers are just there most of the time. They take time out of their day to help with voting and stuff. So I appreciate the poll workers. So I was not rude to them, but I did let them know, I know for a fact this is my voting place and I'm not leaving here. First of all, I'm on my way to work. What was supposed to be a very quick trip to go vote and then get into work turned in actually into 30 minutes of me standing there, phone conversations back and forth with the Board of Elections or the elections office, trying to figure out what's going on. And what ended up happening was, out of the blue, after several phone calls in about 25 minutes, my name shows up and I am in the right place. So I have not actually figured out what exactly happened. I'm still very confused on why the first time they looked for me, I wasn't there, but the second time they looked for me, all of a sudden I appeared after standing there for 25 minutes and getting on the phone with everybody that I know. So the reason why I'm telling you this, I don't know what happened, but this is what I do know. We need to empower people and let people know 3 things. When you show up to vote, make sure you're showing up to the right place. Before you go vote, go to your MVP page, your mvp.sos.ga.gov. Go there and know your actual polling precinct. It's not like early voting where you can go to satellite locations. You have to go to your precinct. Once you arrive at your precinct, if you are told that you're in the wrong place, then you need to let them know that you're in the right place because you looked it up before you got there. You're in the right place. If you see someone else getting turned away, tell them, hey, you should look it up and make sure before you leave this place. After you do that, if all else fails, you need to call the voter protection hotline. I will put the number in the comments. And you also need to ask for a provisional ballot. If you absolutely positively cannot go to another place, get a provisional ballot. Once they figure out that this is what you have going on is wrong, they can that your vote will be counted. But don't leave. Listen, the runoffs are already low voter turnout elections, and we just can't afford for people to not show up, and we can't afford to turn people away. You know, here's the deal. I'm not accusing anybody of voter suppression, but here's what I do know. I do know that voter suppression is not going to always be wrapped up in this, pretty little box with a bow on it that says, here, I'm here to suppress your vote. Sometimes voter suppression is subtle, and sometimes it's indirect. Sometimes it's telling someone you're in the wrong place and knowing that there's a chance that person may not ever go to a second location and cast their ballot. We can't afford to do this. We cannot afford to turn people away, no matter what. When you show up to vote and you know you're at the right precinct, do not leave that place without voting. Thank you guys for listening to me. Please share this information. You don't have to share the video, but at least share the information. I think because this is important. My precinct, this is a preview of what can happen in November. And trust and believe, this precinct has had problems in the past, and so I'm going to be very mindful, and I want to encourage any poll watchers, experienced poll watchers, to reach out to me if you could for the general election as well, but just for everybody in general. I mean, again, thank you for listening to me. Spread the word. Don't let people walk out. Empower people with your knowledge. Everyone who's listening to me probably knows what's going on. A lot of people don't. And so we have got to empower people and give them the knowledge so that their voice can be heard. Because I'm telling you, turning people away at the poll is a way to discourage people from even engaging in the process. So thank you very much, y'all. I got to actually get back to work. We're on break right now. I'm going to run. I'm going to go get me some coffee because I did not get a chance to get coffee before class because I was rushing here because I was at the polling place way longer than I expected to be. I did get a chance to vote, so that did happen. However, I'm just more concerned about the multitude of people who I actually saw turned away, and that's what bothered me the most, because every single vote, even if it's one person that gets turned away, that vote counted for something, and we cannot allow it to happen. Y'all have a good day. I'll be back soon. Bye.